This story is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook at audible.com/theinfographicshow or text the infographic show to 50011. That's audible.com/theinfographicshow or text the word to that number. It all started on a warm Saturday morning. The kind of day where the neighborhood seems unusually quiet. The kind of quiet where you know something is off even before you've had your first cup of coffee. The birds are chirping, the lawns are trimmed, and the air smells faintly of fresh mulch. Yet sitting on the windshield of my pickup truck was a folded piece of paper that would change everything. The envelope was printed with the HOA's official seal, the kind of stern font that made even the smallest warning feel like a federal crime. Inside was a notice, a fine of $200 for parking an oversized vehicle in my own driveway. According to the letter, my truck, a standard full-size pickup, was unsightly and out of compliance with the association's bylaws. The words cut deeper than I expected. My truck wasn't flashy, it wasn't new, and it wasn't hurting anyone. It was just practical. I used it for weekend projects, hauling lumber, and occasionally helping neighbors move furniture. But to the HOA, it was apparently a menace, some sort of rolling eyesore they wanted gone. I knew immediately who was behind this. Every neighborhood has one, the self-appointed watchdog, the person who treats HOA rules like sacred scripture. Ours was Karen. She lived 2 houses down, her yard meticulously maintained, her roses trimmed to military precision. She was the type to measure the height of her neighbor's grass with a ruler, the type to glare from behind blinds if a child's basketball rolled too close to her driveway. I could almost see her smirk as I reread the notice. She'd finally found something to wield against me, something written in the fine print that no one else ever bothered to read. And now she had the backing of the HOA that night. As I stood in my driveway staring at the truck, I thought about all the times Karen had made life harder. The complaints about trash cans being left out for an extra hour, the passive-aggressive note slipped into mailboxes about holiday decorations extending beyond the appropriate season, the neighborhood barbecues she somehow managed to turn into interrogations about property values and compliance. It wasn't just about the fine anymore, it was about principle. I paid the notice, but something inside me snapped. If my truck was too big, then I'd give them something to really talk about, something so outrageous, so impossible to ignore, that every resident on the block would question why they ever gave Karen that kind of power. The idea came late at night, scrolling through videos online, clips of monster trucks scouring machines with wheels taller than most cars, crushing sedans and leaping through the air at packed arenas. They were ridiculous, impractical, and absolutely over the top, which made them perfect. By the end of the week, I was browsing listings. Some were too expensive, others too far away. But then I found it, a used monster truck, an older model, still massive but within my budget if I stretched. It wasn't showroom quality, but it didn't need to be. All it needed to do was make a statement. When I finally wired the payment and arranged delivery, I felt a surge of satisfaction I hadn't felt in years. Karen wanted to pick a fight over the size of my vehicle. Fine. I'd bring in something so absurd, so undeniably larger than life, that she'd wish she'd never started this war. The day of delivery felt like Christmas. The roar of the transport truck echoed down the street as neighbors peeked from behind curtains and porches. The sight of the monster truck rolling off the trailer left mouths hanging open. Its tires dwarfed everything in sight. My driveway, once the site of unsightly violations, now hosted a machine that looked more suited for a demolition derby than suburbia. And as I parked it proudly where the pickup once stood, I caught Karen's face in the window, pale, furious, already reaching for her phone. That was until my wife stopped her. "Where did you get that?" she asked, eyes wide. I found a buyer," I lied. "Great," she said, still staring at the truck. "Just please, take it away, it's ugly." And just like that, my plan was foiled. Sure, I'd won the battle, but the war was far from over. I spent the next few weeks watching cautiously as Karen patrolled her lawn, searching for my next move. Then it hit me. What if I didn't fight fire with fire? What if instead of bringing in something bigger, I went smaller? I found an old smart car, the kind with the rear engine and the steering wheel in the middle. You couldn't get much smaller than that. When it arrived, I parked it beside the monster truck, each wheel of the smart car aligning perfectly with each bolt on the monster truck's tires. It was absurd, hilarious, and totally impractical, exactly what I was going for. The looks on my neighbors' faces were priceless. Karen, however, wasn't amused. For her, it wasn't a joke, it was a violation. She called the HOA, demanded action, and this time, they agreed. My prized possession was towed away. As I waited for my turn to speak with the tow lot operator, I could feel my anger rising. This wasn't just about the car anymore. It was about standing up for myself, about making a statement. When I got home, I posted photos of both vehicles online, describing the situation. Within hours, the post went viral. Local news outlets picked it up. Soon, the whole city was talking about Karen's outrageous HOA and the ridiculous lengths I'd gone to in order to fight back. It was everything I'd hoped for and more. But amid the chaos, something unexpected happened. People started donating money for another car, any car, to park beside the smart car. At first, it was a trickle, then a flood. In a matter of days, I had enough to buy not one, not two, but 3 new cars. And on a Saturday morning, just like the first time, I drove them all home. A Ferrari, a Lamborghini, and a Porsche. A trio of impractical excess parked beside the smart car. The message was clear. No matter how much HOA fines Karen wanted to throw my way, there was no space left for her in our neighborhood. She was outnumbered, outgunned, and most importantly, outhyped. As the story continued to spread, Karen disappeared. I didn't see her out walking her poodle, or tending her rose bushes. She just vanished. I heard rumors that she sold her house in a hurry, losing money and good riddance. To say the last few months have been chaotic would be an understatement. I've done interviews, met amazing people, and gotten a taste of what it feels like to be a local celebrity. But mostly I've watched as the community pulls together, signing petitions to dissolve the HOA and restore our neighborhood to what it was always meant to be, a place where we can park whatever we want in our driveways without having to explain ourselves to anyone. The story doesn't have a neat ending. There's still a lot of work ahead. But in a world where everyone's focused on the negatives, it's nice to be part of a story with a happy medium. So if you have a story you'd like to share, click the link below to submit it. Or if you're just looking for a great new story to listen to, check out one of these titles on Audible.